Picture this. You check your bank account, and for the first time in your life, it says $20,000. Not $2,000, not $7,500, $20,000. 3 years of discipline, skipped vacations, said no to dinners, drove the old car, watched everyone else upgrade, and now you finally made it. And here's the dangerous part. The most important financial moment of your life is not when you hit $20,000. It's the 30 days after. Because statistically, most people who save that much once never build real wealth from it. They either multiply it or slowly drain it. And the direction you go from here determines whether this $20,000 becomes $100,000 or disappears into lifestyle upgrades, well-deserved purchases, and invisible leaks. Let's talk about what actually happens next. The psychological trap nobody warns you about. The human brain hates idle money. When you were broke, saving felt heroic. Now that you have cash, it feels like pressure. Your brain whispers, "You've earned something nicer. You can upgrade now. You're not struggling anymore." And this is where 80% of people lose. Because wealth isn't destroyed by emergencies. It's destroyed by upgrades. Let me tell you about Daniel. Daniel saved $22,000 by 29. He drove a 2012 Corolla, shared an apartment, lived lean. The week he hit 20K, he leased a new SUV, $540 per month. 3 years later, savings, $4,300. Nothing catastrophic happened, just small, justified upgrades. That's how wealth dies, not dramatically, quietly. Step 1, kill the invisible leak. Before you invest a single dollar, ask this: do you have debt charging over 6-7%? Credit cards at 19%? Personal loans at 14%? If yes, that is your investment, because paying off 18% debt is a guaranteed 18% return. Let's make this simple. If you owe $10,000 at 20% interest and only make minimum payments, you'll pay about $12,000 in interest over time. That means the bank earns more from your money than you do. Meanwhile, the stock market averages about 10%. You're paying 20% to maybe earn 10%. That's not investing. That's volunteering to lose. Wealthy people eliminate guaranteed losses first. Discipline beats optimism. Step 2, build your financial airbag. Now assume you're debt-free. You feel ready to invest everything. Stop. Before investing, you need protection. 3 to 6 months of essential expenses. Why? Because without an emergency fund, investing becomes emotional. Car repair, $1,800. Medical bill, $2,400. Job loss, 3 months. If your money is locked in investments and markets are down 25%, now you're forced to sell at a loss. Panic decisions destroy portfolios. An emergency fund isn't about growth, it's about stability. Keep it in a high-yield savings account earning 4%. Boring money, stable money. Sleep well at night money. Now, the real question. Let's say after debt payoff and emergency fund, you still have $10,000 to $15,000 left. Now what? This is where $20,000 turns into $100,000, or doesn't. The math that changes everything. If you invest $20,000 at 10% annually, in 10 years, about $51,000. In 20 years, about $134,000. In 30 years, about $349,000. That's without adding another dollar. Time is the multiplier. But here's where it gets powerful. Add just $500 per month. After 25 years at 10%, over $650,000. You contributed $170,000. The market added nearly $500,000. Money growing like a tree. The $20,000 is the seed. Monthly investing is the water. Time is the sunlight. Remove any one of those, the tree dies. The mistake smart people make. When people see those numbers, they get greedy. They think, how can I get 15% instead? So they try stock picking, crypto trading, market timing. Here's reality. JP Morgan studied 20 years of returns. If you missed just the 10 best market days, your returns were cut nearly in half. And guess what? Those best days usually happen right after crashes, when everyone is scared. Which means trying to time the market often means missing the recovery. Time in the market beats timing the market. Every time. The lifestyle inflation monster. This is the real killer. Let's say you upgrade your apartment. Extra $400 per month.
doesn't feel huge, but $400 per month invested at 10% for 30 years? Over $900,000. You didn't upgrade your apartment. You traded almost $1 million. That's the silent math nobody calculates. Same with cars. $500 per month car payment for 6 years? That money invested instead could become hundreds of thousands over decades. And here's the uncomfortable truth. In 3 years, the new car feels normal. The upgraded apartment feels average. Lifestyle inflation never satisfies. It resets your baseline. Age changes the strategy. If you're in your 20s, be aggressive. 90% stocks, 10% bonds. You have time. Market crashes are sales for you. If you're in your 30s, still aggressive, but larger emergency fund, more responsibility. If you're in your 40s, you need acceleration. Max retirement accounts, increase savings rate, shift towards 70%, 30%, or 60% allocations. Not because stocks are dangerous, because your time horizon is shorter. Time determines risk tolerance, not emotion. Another path, invest in yourself. Sometimes the best return isn't the market. If a certification increases your income by $15,000 per year, that beats any 10% return. Skills compound too. Income growth fuels investing growth. But be strategic. Not random courses, not high programs, real marketable skills. The fork in the road. Right now your $20,000 is a test. It's asking, will you chase excitement or build stability? Will you impress strangers or secure your future? Because here's what happens long term. The person who invests early wakes up at 55 with options. The person who upgrades early wakes up at 55 with obligations. Two different lives, started from the same $20,000. The quiet truth about wealth. Wealth isn't built by brilliance. It's built by repetition. Boring repetition. Automatic investing. Low-cost index funds. Ignoring noise. Staying calm during crashes. Letting decades pass. While everyone else jumps from strategy to strategy. Trying to be clever. Clever people often lose. Consistent people often win. Final thought. There are only two paths from $20,000. One leads to $100,000. Then $300,000. Then maybe 1 million. The other leads back to zero. With nicer stuff. The difference isn't intelligence. It's behavior. So here's the real question. Can you be boring long enough to become wealthy? Can you delay gratification long enough to buy freedom? Because $20,000 isn't the finish line. It's the starting gun. What you do next determines everything. If this made you think differently about money, ask yourself, are you growing a tree or burning the seed? And if you're serious about building that tree, start today, not next month, not after the perfect market tip. Today. Because time doesn't care about your excuses, but it rewards your discipline, and discipline compounds, just like money.